Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for coming, and thank you everybody online for tuning in to BiblioBites. I'm Leah.
I'm Megan. And today, we should have said that
we
together.
should've, yeah.
Today we're doing
Mocktails.
Mocktails.
We should have planned it better.
Yeah, we're talking about mocktails, and of course, there's a million different kinds of mocktails, but we're just going to show you two kind of fun ones. And we're using this book here.
It's called Zero Proof, which also has tons, as always, of course. There's lots of different ideas and options. Some of them are like direct mocks of famous drinks that you would know, like different kinds, like mules or mojitos, that kind of stuff. And others are just seem more made up, which is fun. So
The ones we're making are kind of made up. So
So
are they made up?
with the book.
From the book,
Yeah. We're following their recipe.
So this one is called Swashbuckle. So we're going to do that one. It's kind of a citrusy drink. And then this one, the second one we're doing, is a blackberry lavender French soda. So, and that one, obviously, blackberry lavender. So
We
that's
also
what we'll
put
do.
another book out here, good catch, Leah, that's called Cocktails in Color. This one is not mocktails, it's cocktails. But it's a brand new book, and it's really pretty, has a lot of nice pictures. So we put it out too.
In case anybody wants the real stuff.
Yeah, so feel free to check it out. At the end, you can grab it. So we're going to start with the swashbuckle one, and I think it's called that because it has citrus in it, and so like to prevent scurvy, we have to drink this drink. So it has lime juice, it has some orange flavored water, and then it has pineapple juice as well. But the first thing we're going to show you is how to make a simple syrup, which is super simple.
Yes.
So
It's called simple syrup for a reason. Are you guys familiar with those at all? So these are really easy, and basically it's a way that you can, like if you go get coffee drinks or something and they add flavoring, that's basically what we're making, is that syrup that they use to sweeten drinks and stuff like that. So
all it is sugar and water. So it's kind of a hummingbird specialty as well. And it's just 1-to-1. So we're going to use 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of water.
Yep. And we're just going to get that in the pan, and I'm going to smash the stir here.
Whoa,
oh, no.
whoa.
Well, we might have caramel. Maybe we should do the water first. Whoa. Well, that's a BiblioBites first, huh? Do you get the water?
Yeah.
We're going to have to probably dump that out. Okay. There's always a first time for everything.
This thing,
it gets hot really
it gets
fast.
really
Yeah.
hot. What do you want me to do? Do you want to rinse it out?
Well, let's dump it and try again. Yeah, that's not going to taste good.
At home, ours doesn't do that. Mine doesn't get that hot.
Yeah, let's just,
Maybe put the water and the sugar in together and then
yeah,
Yeah, we could have not turned it on.
that's true.
Okay,
All
hold
right.
on a sec.
Technical difficulties. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with the water.
That's always a fun time, right?
Yeah. We do practice these all beforehand, but we practice them not using these items because we have to, if we're gonna feed it to you, we have to bake it in a home kitchen. So we do it the day before in a home kitchen. So, but it makes it a little different when we're using this stuff here.
So what's that? What's the pad thing you're cooking?
Yeah. This is just a hot plate, but it is like specifically this pan goes with it, and
So it like won't turn on unless that's on there.
yeah, and it's
So it's
really
an
hot.
induction hot plate.
Yeah.
And it heats up really quick.
Okay.
As you can see.
Let's go ahead and get the water in there.
Okay.
So how much does one of those cost?
I don't know.
Great question.
We've had it here since I started working here.
Set up.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we have both in at the same time.
Back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay.
And you do want to make sure and stir it so that it doesn't like stick to the bottom and so the sugar gets fully combined into the water.
And basically you just heat this until it gets, the sugar melts, or dissolves, sorry.
And then that's just the simple syrup. And you can buy them like pre-made. I've seen them like in a bottle. And so if you don't want to make your own, you can definitely buy it, but it is very simple.
It is,
So
yeah. It's super easy, and it honestly makes a lot. So whenever for drinks like these, you don't need a lot of it in there. And so I think we're using like
half an ounce
for 1 glass. And so for something like, you know, this is going to make a lot for what
So
you
how
need.
would you
So.
store that? Would you store it in the refrigerator, on the counter?
I would store it in the refrigerator. That's what we did with our extra.
Yeah.
I
I
put
know-
it in a Tupperware and put it in the fridge.
Just like airtight, definitely.
yeah. Let me see if it says.
Definitely ones that are like bought. I know people just keep them on the counter. So it could probably be stored on the counter, but being that it's homemade, it might not last as long. I don't know. So
It says store in an airtight container and refrigerate for up to 2 weeks. So
there you go. So once this dissolves, and then you want to just heat it just enough to where it kind of simmers a little bit, just to kind of activate the sugar, and then that will help make it more syrupy.
And you can use agave if you'd rather use that instead of sugar. You can do an agave, and it's the same thing, 1-to-1 cup of agave and water. If you'd rather use that, you probably could use honey
Yeah, if you
as well.
It might not, maybe.
But
I
if
would
you
try
wanted to
it.
sweeten it with honey, you could probably make it work.
Yeah.
And we're going to end up putting it in a cocktail shaker just to combine it well. And this drink has a little more flavoring with cucumber. And we muddle the cucumber with the simple syrup. So I'm going to start cutting my cucumber. And it says you really only need like 2 slices. So I'm just going to cut 2 slices.
Okay. So then this is just, it's a little bit thicker than water, you can tell, but just that's it. So super easy. I'm going to set that aside here, and then as she's doing that, we'll move on.
And we have some that we already made that is chilling in the fridge, so I think that's the one we should use for our drink, because you do want to make sure it gets fully cool, but we just wanted to show you how to do this part of it. So I'll put a couple cucumber slices in the bottom. And it does taste surprisingly cucumbery. Even though you just put a couple slices in the bottom, you can really taste that flavor,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that's fun. Okay,
I'll grab it.
thank you. And then we're going to muddle it in there, and they told us to talk about what that means. So it just means to smush it up, and so the juices come out, and it gets combined with the syrup. And I know there's special tools for making drinks to muddle. I don't have one, so I'm just gonna use a spoon, but
That's
you can
the
do
simple
that.
syrup for the stuff we've had. And you want to
So we're just gonna use half an ounce of, half of that. Half an ounce of the syrup with our cucumber.
And then we'll dump that right in here. And then this is neat. This is it's got 1 ounce on one side and then an ounce and a half on the other side. And you had a fun name for that, and I don't
Jigger
remember.
is what it's called, and it's specifically for making drinks. Because those are some measurements that you use a lot, I guess, when making drinks. So I'm just muddling with a spoon, and this does have a strainer on it, and so don't worry about the cucumber at the bottom because we are going to strain the drink in the end.
And the next thing I do.
And then we're going to add some of our yummy juices. So we're going to add pineapple juice and lime juice.
And then remind me how much we got of this one.
So pineapple, we're doing 3 ounces,
Okay.
and 1 ounce of lime juice.
Okay.
So,
Then we'll just pour that in next.
and we just bought a can of pineapple juice, and we bought this already squeezed lime juice, but you can use fresh limes and squeeze them yourself, and I think it would taste even more vibrant, but we had to make a lot, so this is what we bought. And 1 ounce of the lime. 1.5. Okay.
And then I think, do we use the ice for this one?
Yeah, and then we're gonna put a little bit of ice and shake.
Maybe I need a couple more.
And this just kind of makes it cold because the ice doesn't really, once you start shaking it, it doesn't stay put. So make sure it's on really tight because you don't want to have a problem there. And then the fun part is shaking.
We've had enough accidents today.
Yeah.
We're good with that.
And it says shake vigorously.
And what this does with the ice, it kind of just cools the whole thing down. So then you really wouldn't even necessarily need it poured over ice doing it this way, but we'll still add a little bit more just to make sure it remains nice and cool.
Yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like. And we'll pour that into the glass. And part of the fun of making some of these drinks is adding garnish. And on theirs, they garnish with gooseberries. We weren't able to find that at Fry's, so we did not do that. So we're just gonna garnish it with a couple cucumber slices. They also said you could garnish with cilantro. So if you want to do that too, you can. I'm not sure I can get this off, Leah, so you might have to help me. Oh no, I did it.
Lid remover.
Okay, so we're just gonna pour that over ice. And then
we're gonna, on top of it, we're gonna add our blood orange sparkling water. So that, we'll just top off that. Then it kind of makes it fizzy too, which is really fun. And adds a little bit of the orange flavor in there as well. And then, a little bit more. There we go. We'll add our little garnish. And then that one you can just throw on top maybe. Make some extra fun. And then that one's it. That one's done.
So like, what do you call that? What do you call the glass shaker thing?
It's just called a cocktail shaker. And it really helps combine the drink really well. So I do recommend those. This one's really cool because it has like, it talks about like famous drinks, martini, Manhattan, sidecar, and it tells you what to put in them. Like it says this one is 3/4 of an ounce lime juice. So it's pretty cool. It was from Target. Okay, so there's our first drink, and don't worry, you will get to try it, but we're gonna make them both.
Yeah, we're gonna show you the next one
and then
first.
we'll give you samples.
And then we'll move on.
So
for this one, we're gonna make a similar thing to that simple syrup, but what we're actually making is a blackberry puree, and that's kind of gonna be the base of our drink. So what we'll do, let's not turn it on yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put same equal parts sugar and water, and then we're gonna put the blackberries in as well. So I'm gonna give that a little, you can use the same pan since it's basically we're making the same thing, but I'm gonna just rinse it just for sanity.
And we're going to not make another part of it because it was just too many components, but I wanted to tell you, this drink is blackberry lavender, and so we made a lavender simple syrup, and all we did was that was the same thing, sugar and water, but we added dried lavender. And we just bought this at Fry's. You can buy dried lavender flowers, and we just put a few tablespoons with our sugar and water and let it boil. And then once it started boiling, you take it off the heat and let it steep for 10 minutes, and then we strained it.
Use the right essential oil.
That's true. That's a good idea.
Wine oils and everything.
Yeah, you could do that. And I know you can buy some already made too, lavender syrups, like for coffees and things. So there's a lot of options, but this is what we went ahead and did, and it worked really well. We were surprised how fragrant it is. So I think you'll enjoy it. You'll taste the lavender. So I'll put most of these in here, but I want to leave a couple for us to garnish.
Actually, I think I'm gonna dump just a touch of the water out because I forgot we're not gonna use the whole thing.
Okay.
So I don't want.
This is like really nice and refreshing, especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are perfect for a summer drinks, you know, if you're by the pool or.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
And this one is really like bright and tropical and refreshing, and this one's kind of more creamy and I don't know how to describe it. It's fizzy and a little more like decadent. So the book is really cool because it has, look, it's under the section rich and decadent. Perfect. But there are fun sections depending on what kind of drink you like. They even have ones that are more savory, which we weren't sure if people would be as interested in those, so we didn't choose to make a savory one. But they have tropical ones, they have the rich and decadent ones, savory ones, and they're all under a different section in the book. So that's kind of neat. Whatever you're feeling that day, you can make that kind. Yeah, it's called Zero Proof.
And you could put this on hold too and get it that way.
So we're starting by making that blackberry puree, and I do think that you can buy some already made.
Yeah, I think so.
But again, it's really simple, and so we just went ahead and made it. It's the same principle with the sugar and the water and the blackberries. And once they get hot, they kind of just start mushing up.
Yeah. So these you're going to cook until the blackberries kind of start to change color, and we'll see it really soon here. They start getting real light and like a very light purple. And then they're going to kind of start almost popping, like they'll get mushy. And just as you stir it, they're kind of going to just mush together.
And we stored it in the same way. This is that lavender syrup, and then this is the blackberry puree. So we just put it in an airtight container in the fridge, and that worked really well. The one thing we have to do with the blackberries, though, is strain it, as Leah mentioned. So we have a mesh strainer, and we're gonna, once it's all done, we're gonna pour it over that so that we don't get any seeds.
Yeah, these are very like chunky, and they get lots of seeds and stuff in it. Yeah,
So that is an important step to make sure you don't get the seeds in it.
So you'll kind of start to see they're gonna.
Zero proof,
And these you can see are already kind of changing color a little bit.
And you probably could use other berries if you wanted to, raspberries.
I've done it with raspberries for sure. Any berries though, like some of them you just don't need, like strawberries you don't necessarily need to strain. For something like a drink you probably would want to because they do have the little strawberries. I've done the same thing to make lemonades. The strawberry doesn't need as much strain for that. The blackberry definitely needs the strain though. So.
And it's probably a good idea to taste your berry and see how sweet they are, because sometimes you might need a little more sugar than suggested, sometimes a little less. So that's good to keep in mind too.
Yes. Okay.
But
and yeah, you can see they're very light now versus that dark color.
And it's just starting to boil a little bit, so that's kind of what we're looking for.
Oh yeah, so this one had definitely a different color because of. So now it's kind of, just get it to a bit of a simmer until they start to fall apart. And then we'll move on to the next step. And look, they start to look more like raspberries. You can kind of see like this one here, it's real light.
And I think the blackberry complements the lavender really well, and then we're gonna add half and half as well. So all these flavors I think go really well. Yeah, it is kind of an Italian soda. They call it a French soda, and I think maybe because of the lavender, that's why, but it is like an Italian soda, so.
Would you mind rinsing that?
Sure.
Well, I guess it's not. We'll take it off the heat, and then what we're gonna do, because these ones are really, it is still really chunky, so we're gonna actually blend it. You can put it in a blender or food processor. We have this immersion blender, so we're just gonna use that. And I just did it on the lowest setting, and then we will. I'm just gonna do it right in the pan, and then kind of make it real fine.
It will
We'll splatter, yeah.
splatter, so be careful. You're
We're
getting
in
a
the
front
splash
row
zone,
seat.
yeah.
Be careful. But the cool thing about immersion blenders is that you can you can use them in the pan. You don't have to pour it into another food processor or a blender. So I say just go for it, Leah. There you go.
When you use them long enough, then you get used to the
Yeah.
speed to use.
And of course, it's a very dark
Maybe
purple
we should
color.
protect the books here. I don't want them to get messed up. Yeah. Ooh. It's just like splashing. It's kind of warm, so if it's getting on me. There you go.
And we are going to strain it, so you don't have to blend it
So
too much.
that's probably good. We'll just set it aside. All right, and then it goes into here. So then basically this is just going to get all those seeds out and the chunks that we don't want. Okay.
And a lot of it just comes right through, but we kind of went in with a spoon to kind of
Kinda
get the
help it
most
through.
juice we can, yeah. And you can like top desserts with something like this, like an angel
yeah.
food cake. You can,
Like I said, I make lemonades with it.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
really good. So there's a lot of possibilities with a puree like this. Okay. And it does make quite a bit, so
I think we did double it, but one batch will make much more than one drink for this. So.
and it depends on how many blackberries
Yeah.
you have too. So okay, so that's pretty good right there.
Okay. And then that's it. Then we're going to use that right into our drink.
Yeah. So like I
What
said,
is
we do
them?
have some that have been chilled. So we're gonna combine our blackberry puree and our lavender syrup.
And you did explain how we did that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I miss it. So that's the lavender one. And
So-
the recipe book did say you could use fresh, but we did use the dry too. I don't know if you
Yeah,
mentioned
it does have a recipe in here for using fresh lavender, but you can use dried, you could use the oil, so any way that you want to use it.
Yeah.
Leah's a lot better at pouring this than I am, so I think she
How
should
many
probably
do
do
we
it. So for the blackberry puree, it's 1.5 ounces, so the
that.
larger
So use
side.
the big one. So we'll just pour that in first.
And then 1 ounce of lavender syrup. Thank you.
That's gonna be tricky since you use the other side.
I know.
know.
I'm just gonna. There we go.
We make a mess sometimes
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
and that's
Sometimes
okay.
we do.
Okay, and then I added some ice into there, and we're just gonna shake that a little bit. And that's part of the fun, shaking it.
Yeah.
And it's also very aromatic. You can smell the lavender when
Yeah,
you get your
the-
drink,
Lavender smells really good.
which is kind of fun. Okay, and this one also has a fizzy aspect. So we are just gonna add a little bit of our seltzer water into there.
What was?
And it's 4 to 6 ounces, so it's quite a bit.
Here, it's actually got measurements on here.
Oh, good.
We'll add like.
I would do 4.
Yeah, I think that was closer to.
We sampled it, and we like it more sweet, so I would do the 4 ounces of seltzer water instead of 6, because I like sweet drinks. And then it says not to shake it again because it has the fizzy water, so we're just gonna pour that over ice.
Did you get our ice yet or no?
No, I didn't, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
And it's also fun to get different glasses. Like this book does recommend specific glasses for specific drinks, which is kind of fun, but you can use whatever you have. I had this fun one that has like rainbows on it, so we thought that was cute, and then this fun goblet style one. So whatever you have.
And then that kind of strains off, obviously, all the ice too. So then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add half and half, and we're gonna kind of do it. We'll try and do it kind of on the side. That way, it kind of makes like an ombre. Let's see. And just kind of do that.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay, and then we'll garnish it with a couple blackberries. If you have lavender, it says you can put a sprig of lavender too, but we don't have that, so we're just gonna go with the blackberries. And then those are the 2 fun drinks.
Yeah.
So we'd love for you guys to try them, so we will make you some samples.
Do you guys have any questions about that? Okay. Cool. Then we'll just go ahead and mix them up, and then you guys can get your samples.
Okay.
I'll switch sides.
And you can even like double the recipe, just put it in a picture. You know?
So that's what we did here. We did, I think we went 5 times. And then, yeah, just put it in the pitcher. And I wouldn't let it sit too long that way because it just might not taste as good.
Yeah,
probably
I think
good,
that's a couple days probably.
Yeah.
Okay. It just comes out.
Comes out?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
On the side. Sorry.
Okay.
And then we're going to
Okay.
top those with the cream.
And once this drink kind of mixes together, it's a really pretty lavender color, so that's fun too.
And you definitely don't want to use like your you want to make sure you don't use the hot one for these drinks, because if you pour the cold milk over or the cream over that, that will not be a fun drink.
Yeah. Okay.
So there we go.
Please come try one.
Or both. You can
Yeah,
have
please
both.
try both.
There you go.
A wellness shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Oh wow, that's only with those 2 slices of cucumbers.
It does
Well,
have.
that one, yeah, technically.
Yeah.
Because that one was the.
This one has a few more cucumbers because we made a larger batch, but per serving, yeah.
That is interesting.
Is that when sweet or not as much? Because that one was less sweet for us, we thought, which was kind of surprising. It's not, huh? Yeah, we thought that was kind of surprising.
It is more rich and decadent.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, you're right.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
And it's interesting because it has the lavender syrup, which is sweetened, and the blackberry puree, which is sweetened. So it's kind of surprising. But you could add more sugar to it if you like it a little
Really
sweeter.
For me, the sweetness is perfect.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
well, good.
This
Cool.
is on the sweet side.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm just not used to cream.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming today. And
Yeah.
of course, you can put the books on hold if you want to look through them. This one, if anybody else is what's interested in the other one, You can check that one out today too.
Yeah.
Thank you,
But yeah,
ladies.
thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks so
coming.
much,
Do
yeah.
you want to
Oh,
put
yeah.
that up there?